Alright, we're gonna read Rosalina's storybook. Oh!
Let us begin.
Let us begin. Alright, guys, are you ready to cry? Chapter 1, The Celestial Duo. Whoa. I also really love this artwork. I know I'm gonna be making jokes about this soon enough, but it's cool. Our story begins a very, very long time ago with a young girl. One day, this girl spotted a rusted spaceship holding a small star child. Oh! This is what this illustration looks like. What's your name? Are you lost? The girl asked the star child. I'm Luma, and I'm waiting for Mama. She's coming for me on a comet, said the star child, who had been waiting day and night. Don't worry, I'll wait with you, the little girl promised Luma. Whoa, she's just like arm strength holding up that telescope. At nightfall, the little girl borrowed her father's telescope and peered into the sky. She looked and looked, but she saw nothing. Hours turned into days and then years, but still the sky revealed nothing. Turns out she lived in the city, and the city lights were blocking out the stars. It's quite sad, but okay. Finally, the little girl sighed and said to Luma, if we stay here looking much longer, I'll be an old lady soon. But then she had an idea. Why don't we go out out there and find our... Why can't I get this line right, is what she said. Why don't we go out there and find your mother ourselves? And so she abandoned her family. The girl and the Luma fixed up the rusty spaceship. We're just skipping past that. And then the two set sail into the starry sky. And this is how the search for the celestial mother began. Chapter 2. Starbits. Days passed with no sight of the comet or even a single planet. Instead, asteroids extended for as far as the eye could see. If I had known it was going to take this long, I would have packed more jam, said the little girl above the rumble of her belly. She imagined food. Before they left, she packed all the essentials. Telescope, butterfly net, stuffed bunny, bread, milk, jam, 6-shooter, and apricot-flavored tea. But I forgot to bring water. What? This is how we know this is a child. After this, Luma burst into gales of laughter, and the girl began to pout. Are you making fun of me? She said. As long as I have star bits, I'll be fine. Want some? Said Luma. The little girl couldn't stay mad after hearing this. I'm gonna give Luma a different voice. Luma continued to laugh, and the girl couldn't help but join in. I left my family for this. Alright, maybe just a nibble. That's a... Or she looks kind of wonky there, but that's a cool shot. Leaning far out the ship, the pair began to collect star bits with the girl's net. They almost fell out a few times, but they kept on collecting. The star bits tasted like honey. Are y'all invested?
So she'd been living off Starbits.
Yeah, off of candy, basically. The comet. A beam of light pierced through the ship's window. Thinking it was the morning sun, the girl peered through the window, only to find a turquoise blue comet shimmering at her. The little girl shook the sleeping Luma awake and shouted excitedly, "We have to get to that comet!" The pair descended on the comet, because they could just do that, and found that it was made of ice. They looked high and low, but Luma's mother was nowhere to be found. Exhausted, the little girl sat down with a flop, utterly unable to take another step. Look! Who's talking? Peering down at the icy ground where Luma was pointing, the girl suddenly noticed clusters of star bits encased in the ice. Pretty good, huh? Finding star bits is my specialty, said Luma.
Bro.
What? There's ice here, but it's so warm. I'll bet there's water here, too. The two decided to stay on the comet for a while. Riding the turquoise comet, the pair continued their search for Luma's mother. How many chapters do I have? Chapter 4. The
Wow.
Dream. Oh my gosh.
Oh.
One night, the girl dreamed about her own mother. "Where are you going?" she asked. She asked her mother's retreating back. Without turning, her mother replied. Without turning, her mother replied, "Don't fret, dearest. I'm not going anywhere. I'm always watching over you, like the sun in the day and the moon in the night. I am vengeance." A wave of sadness washed over the girl. "What about when it rains and I can't see the sun or the moon?" Her mother thought for a moment before responding. "I will turn into a star." What? "I will turn into a star in the clouds and wait for your tears to dry." When she awoke, the girl's face was damp with tears. "You have star bits in your eyes," said Luma to the girl. Wiping her face, the girl replied, "These are tears, not star bits, you imbecile. I'm crying because I'll never see my mother ever again." At this rate, Luma began to cry too. "Mama." "Oh, Mama. Why?"
Mom.
"Mama."
Why would you do this to me, Mama?
The pair traveled through the starry skies, and though they encountered many other comets, not one of them held Luma's mother. Luma was despondent.
Yo, children do not know what despondent means.
Now, Luma, the rain clouds won't go away if you keep crying. The girl, I keep on adding little. The girl said, giving Luma a squeeze. "I'll give you a present if you stop." The girl closed her eyes and said gently, "I'll take care of you." With these words, she felt a small spark in her heart. Aw, this is sad and sweet.
I've been really trying.
Chapter 5, Home. "The kitchen will go here, and the library will go over there." They're building a whole home. That's crazy. The girl said busily to herself, "We'll put the gate here." Ever since the girl took Luma under her care, she'd been bustling at a feverish pace. Bustling about, I mean. It's a lot of work, but it's worth it to make a happy home. Aw. It turned out that star bits weren't the only things buried in the ice. There were tools and furniture unlike any they had ever seen, and the girl used them to build a home, really. Wow, okay.
That's surprising.
Where is this? Looking at the
what?
This is the catacombs. Looking at the completed house, Luma remarked, "Don't you think it's awfully big for just the two of us?" With a library, bedroom, kitchen, fountain, and gate, and a gate, it was certainly spacious, but still, something seemed to be missing. "If only my father, brother, and mother were here," the girl said wistfully. Indeed, the house was too large for its two small residents. That night, clutching her favorite stuffed bunny close to her heart, the girl fell asleep in the starship. Chapter 6, Friends. Then one day, while the girl sat sipping tea, a tiny apricot-colored planet appeared on the horizon. "Fire the Death Star," she said. From the planet, another Luma of the same color emerged. Okay, I can't read. "Do you two know each other?" the girl asked the two Lumas gleefully. Despite the girl's excitement, they seemed uneasy. The two Lumas neither drew closer nor backed away from each other. Instead, they just stared. Then one Luma broke the silence. "My mama!" At once, the apricot Luma parroted back, "My mama, my mama! My mama, my mama!" The two Lumas began to dance around the girl frantically, and neither showed any sign of stopping. The girl was so charmed by this adorable scene that she couldn't help but laugh, and that's when something very strange happened. Lumas don't take too kindly to laugh to mockery. Suddenly, more Lumas began to pop out from the apricot planet. They were all different colors, but they shouted the same thing: "My mama, my mama!" The sight of all the shouting Lumas only made the girl laugh harder. What am I gonna do with all these children? I'm 9. The Loomis just stared blankly as she doubled over laughing. I guess we'll have to name each and every one of you. That's Jim and Percy and Ronald and Reagan and George and Washington. Tomorrow, that's she's not talking. Tomorrow, once she had finished naming them all, she would begin to moving all the Loomis into the new house. The end. Chapter 7, The Telescope. After seeing their 100th comet, a sudden thought popped into the girl's head. I wonder if my home... Okay, let me get a restart on that whole page. After seeing their 100th comet, a sudden thought popped into the girl's head. I wonder if my home planet is still as blue as it was. Okay, that's when she remembered her father's telescope. Peeking into the telescope, a tiny blue dot floated into sight. It was smaller than a starbit. How strange. It is so far away, but it feels so close. Whoa. She twisted the knob of the telescope, and the blue dot grew until she could make out a grassy hill dotted with flowers. It seemed very familiar to her. Zooming in even closer, a terrace on the hill came into view. I used to go stargazing. I used to go stargazing there when I lived on my home planet. This page is funny. I used to go to the strange person behind the tree. She remembered rubbing the sleep out of her eyes as she followed her father up that hill to look at the stars. She remembered how she and her brother would sled down that hill before the incident. She remembered having picnics with her mother on that hill on bright and windy days. Oh, are you ready?
Oh.
And?
Yo!
The sad music. I want to go home. I want to go home right now. The girl burst into tears, and the Loomis didn't know what to do, because they were stupid. I want to go home. I want to go back to my house by the hill. I want to see my mother. The girl was shouting now, her face wet with tears. But I know she's not there. I knew all along that she wasn't out there in the sky because, ready? She's sleeping under the tree on the hill. Dude. How freaking sad is that?
Any child who beat Super Mario Galaxy scarred for life,
Yeah,
bro.
right.
Scarred for life.
They were like, a new chapter in the storybook, and it's like,
Hey, you want to read it?
of course I do. That's so like, wow. Why do I feel like
dead.
she's literally dead? I don't know if Nintendo would do something like this in a Mario game anymore now. It literally is just all fun and games in Mario now. It's like, wahoo!
I'm gonna kill Donkey Kong, but it'll be funny
It'll
because
be
I'll
silly.
just stomp on his head.
She's sleeping under the tree on the hill. How freaking sad. The girl's cries echoed through the stars, and a hush fell over the area. Dang, man. Chapter 8. The Wish.
I can't. There's more chapters, holy.
Though usually quite cheery, one day the girl became sad again. Luma drew close and tried to comfort her. Mama, you still have me.
Mama.
And don't be sad about your mama, because she's a part of you. That means she's always close by. It's like me. I love Starbits because they remind me of my mama.
No, the girl said, unable to stop the tears. It was a funny looking face. A lonely look flickered across Luma's face, but was soon replaced by a wide grin.
I have an idea.
I will transform into a comet. Whoa. I don't know about that, man.
A soaring comet that can carry you all. That can carry you all on this journey.
Whoa. then he exploded
gosh.
point blank in front of her face.
Then he nuked.
Don't worry, I have an idea.
With that, Luma, trailing bands of white. I don't know why that I was expecting more of that. Trailing bands of white soared high into the sky and just as quickly started to plummet back down. Kabloom! Kablow! Rest in peace, my crane. She got hit by a bazooka.
Kaboom.
Kablow!
Ow.
Rest in peace, my Luma. He got turned into a comet. The ground shook and a bright light poured out of the crater that the Luma had created.
You fool! You've killed us all!
The bands of light twisted together to form a comet tail. And then Luma emerged.
Reborn?
And then Luma emerged. Reborn as a comet.
Gosh, he did it.
The girl could scarcely believe her eyes. But how? She kept asking. But how? Our destiny as Lumas is to transform into different things. said a red Luma, who had suddenly appeared. Stars, comets, planets. We can become all of these things. When I grow what freaking voice do I give him?
When I grow up, I want to become a star that makes someone special smile.
Said a green Luma. A blue Luma chimed in. That Luma turned into a real cutie of a comet, didn't he? Okay. I wouldn't say that.
Whoa.
All of the Lumas together said,
No more crying, Mama.
me cheering up my girlfriend be like, thank you, said the girl in a whisper, and she pulled the Lumas close and hugged them. From that day on, starbits no longer fell from the girl's eyes.
Starbits.
The comet set forth for the girl's home planet, its long tail blazing proudly behind it. More? I thought that, final
my
chapter,
gosh.
final chapter. Family.
The reset of the music.
Yeah, I was like, okay, we're done here. With its many lumas and telescopes, the comet was quite a sight to behold. The girl and the lumas were proud to call it home. At a welcoming party for a new luma, the girl gathered everyone in the kitchen and said in a louder voice than usual, all right, everyone, let's make a cake sprinkled with star bits. Then it'll be a star cake. The lumas excitedly began to gather the ingredients. Aw. As she watched the lumas scurry about, the girl smiled and thought to herself, this is my family now, and I will stay with them until they're ready to leave the nest, and when they leave, I'll see them off with a smile. Because that's what makes a mother... Because that's what... She thought that.
Yeah, she went crazy.
Because that's what makes a mother happiest. Whoa. That night, when the girl lay down to sleep, a soft light enveloped her and reminded her of the blue planet she once called home. But it would be nice to return home once every 100 years to nap in my favorite... Let me redo that. But it would be nice to return home once every 100 years to nap in my favorite sleeping nook. The comet carrying the lumas and the girl continues on its journey to this very day. With more family members in a tow than can be counted. No, in tow. Alright, I can't read. With more family members in tow than can be counted, it's said that the comet visits the girl's home planet once every 100 years, its proud white tail glittering in the sky. The end. Aww. Wow. Is that really about you? That's all. My story is finished. Wow, Rosalina. End the video on that, on the closing of the book.